All right, so tonight we're going to be talking about how to buy back your time so you can invest it more wisely. So the only reason or the only way I'm able to be making this video tonight in Ottawa, a city I don't even live in, and on a weeknight to top it all off, is because I'm able to not just sell my time, but also my skills, experience, my tools, my equipment. So anything that fits it into the owner operator vibe, like electrician, plumber, filmmaker, anybody who has equipment and who is operating that equipment to deliver some sort of a service. That's the only way that you can get paid, $600 plus per day doing something without even needing to have a degree per se in anything, or maybe just like a technical diploma certificate from a trade school. Like just being able to make essentially the maximum amount of money with as little amount of time as possible. Anything like that doesn't even require you to have employees or to run like a quote unquote business. It would just be essentially like freelancing services. That is the first step. So that would allow you, well, depending on your industry, like maybe it's a really, like if you're a plumber or electrician or, contractor, chances are you're working year round, like 365 days out of the year, because there's so much demand for that kind of stuff. Well, at least for the time being. And yeah, there's just like not enough people doing it. So, but if you're more like me, or more like, for example, like, maybe like someone who works remotely, graphic designer, any type of creative, like a filmmaker like myself, a videographer, sound recordist. I work maybe 60 to 80 days out of the year, but you can see like charging like, $600 to $800 a day, how that's possible, how you could still make a decent living working less than 100 days a year. So then you're left with essentially a lot of time. And what you do with that time is what's most important, because those are the days that will allow you to get ahead in the long term. So this is why I'm doing things like DIY camper build, why I'm always working on other stuff like, software development, like I'm developing softwares. You can find out more about that through my Decibel Peak brand. But it's, that's what I'm saying. So when you have the free time, when you actually because a lot of people dream of that, right? They work their job every day and, they wish they had more time to do a specific project. Well, I'm giving you like kind of a roadmap to how you can actually achieve that. And it's not that difficult. You can just do it with, like I said, like any type of creative skill, plumber, electrician, contractor, that kind of stuff's a little bit more difficult unless you're very selective, because you'll be working a lot and you won't have a lot of free time. You might actually have less. So, and the responsibility, and sometimes, like you'll have clients that might not pay and stuff like that. So it's like, it's a risk, and you have to, there's a lot more overhead. So that's why I'm saying there's certain skills, like especially the remote stuff. So anyways, ironically, it ends up being all the professions that align best with living a nomadic or semi-nomadic lifestyle, doing things like van life. And because of that freedom to actually be able to travel to different places and, have work, different work opportunities take you to different parts of your country or even the world, it's gonna open up a lot of doors, and you'll be able to, like I said, get maximum ROI on your time. And that comes with building like a float, like having equipment, investing in yourself, using all the legal tax loopholes, expensing everything. So instead of paying taxes, you increase your net worth, like all these moves. Like I'm going to talk more about this in other videos, but tonight is, I guess, just like essentially like a preliminary where it's just getting in the mindset of like what the possibilities are here, and not just, like I said, living out of a van to like not pay, like that's like it's so passe, you know. It's not like it's not the point. Like, I have a place in Montreal, like I have a nice loft that I turn into a virtual production studio. Like, this is about expansion. Like, it's not about, you know, being a hippie. It's about being like essentially like a man with a plan, and you're just using this mobile base camp to help you get there quicker and I guess in some sort of style. So that's what the DIY camper build style is all about. It's just about opening up possibilities, opportunities. So like I said, the lifestyle you're going to be going down if you want to have this actual freedom, not just financial freedom, but also time freedom, which is a lot more valuable than financial freedom, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, what's the point of living life if you're not going to just, you know, have experiences and have the time to experience those things? You know, if you're just working, unless it's really what you love. But even if it's what you love, trust me, working 5 days a week on a film set, 12 hours a day, it does get kind of old. Like, it really does. Like, you think it's the dream for like the first couple of weeks, then you realize it's just like another job. So in the chances that you might have something better to do with your time, this is the roadmap in how to buy back your time so you can invest it more wisely. Because it's so tempting, you know, to, especially when you're making $600 to $800 a day, you know, per contract. Like, it's very tempting to want to work. And if you were able to make that much money, you know, every single day, like the opportunities were actually every single day of the year, most people would probably take it. That's the thing. The comfort of making money is sometimes more enticing than the freedom to actually do something, you know, in uncharted territory, you know, things that you've been dreaming about, but you're afraid deep down inside to do. It's like, you know, existence itself you're facing, you know, your existence, like what it's all about, like what you do in that nothingness and that void, that very uncomfortable spot, like living in your van for an extended period of time, you know, by your own will, not because of work took you there, not because it's a vacation, but because there's something you're trying to figure out and, you know, maybe share it with the rest of the world. So it's a very, like I said, if you had the time, like what would you actually do with it? You know, maybe let us know in the comments if you had unlimited time, or maybe like I said, you only had to work, you know, less than 100 days a year to make ends meet. Like, what would you do with all that extra time? So think about it for yourself if you don't know the answer, because the answer to that will shape the rest of your life. And there's something to be said about the fact that if you feel this way, like, and if you, by feel this way, I mean, if you're listening to this content and, you know, the van lifestyle is alluring to you, like there's something about it. Maybe it's the freedom, maybe it's the traveling, like there's just something about it that attracts you. You know, maybe that's why I'm saying maybe there is a path for you that isn't the one that you're following right now. And this will actually allow you to uncover that.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you're building something that's meant to last, whether it's a camper van, a business, or just a better way of living, I'm glad you're here. Everything I use, recommend, or offer is linked in the description. Take what works, build your own blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one.